And we are live. Hi, everybody. It is your girl, Mother from Mama, the undisputed African queen. I'm excited. To have this guest, this cast on my platform. If you're here for the first time and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that. We're going to have fun tonight. It is your girl, Mother from Mama, the undisputed African queen. Excited to bring in the African king, you guys. Before we do that, let's start with my intro.
Hello.
Anywho, you guys, I just decided, let me come by before I bring in Chris, just so this is my platform. Chris, where did you go? I do have a podcast, you guys. I do have a podcast. Here, where did he go? Chris, where are you? We gotta have. Yeah, he told me he's gonna be on time. I'm waiting for him. Hold on, let me tell him we are here. I'm waiting. He should be here in a second, you guys. Um, have you been enjoying Rachel Up? Okay, here he is. I don't know why it's not. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay, it's working now. Ma, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Had to say the best for last.
You know how we roll. You know how we roll. We are,
Exactly.
undisputed from this end.
We definitely always have a good time. That I do know.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I went to Louisiana. Today's my daughter's birthday, so I wasn't gonna make it back in time. So I was like, let me pull over so I could find a place where I could talk to you because I don't want to be driving, while I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Oh my God! So you're not home?
I'm in Louisiana right now. Yeah.
Dang, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, you're special, so I got to do special things. So.
I like that. Okay. So I hope you're safe. So you want us to get started?
Yeah, we'll get started. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So thank you so much for stopping by. I was very excited when I saw you on Ray to Love. Dallas, you are the first one with an African descent. When I say that, I don't mean about, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know it. I know
maybe
exactly.
first generation African, and we're gonna talk about that. Tell me, how did you end up in Dallas?
Oh wow! So I was actually born in Dallas, but I was raised in Nigeria. So my father was he was a professor here in Dallas, and my mother also taught as well elementary school. But we all grew. I mean, we all are from Nigeria. So when he passed right before I was born. So when I was grown enough to go to Nigeria, my mother took me there as an infant, and I stayed till I was like 7, and then I came back. So I'm the youngest of 5 actually. Yeah. Yep, I'm the baby.
So when you came back, did you come back with mom?
Yes. I came back with mom. So she brought me and my sister that's closest to me, and the other siblings were still in Nigeria. So then later they came over here, and then we came one big family. So yeah. So
Awesome.
it's like
So everybody is here.
Yes, everyone's. But I do have a sister that travels back and forth to Abuja and Lagos, and she's visiting right now. But majority of us are here. We have one that actually reside there, but comes back and forth and travel. Yeah.
Do you get to go back and visit? How often do you do that?
You know what? I just started about 3 years ago. I started going in December. So I've been consistent for the past 3 years, going around this time because the weather is better, in December in
Yeah,
Africa. It's not as hot,
yeah,
and then,
right.
so it's just way better. So I'm
Well,
looking forward to it. I'm gonna go back again. So this December.
that's nice. I'm gonna say it's not as cold over here because we are freezing in December. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh,
On this end, it's already
I know.
cold. We already have put heat. We are putting heat in
Yes,
the house. It's very cold. So,
exactly. Exactly.
so how was that? Talk to me about your first visit back home because you're now an adult. You're going back.
Oh my goodness.
Uh, how was that for you?
So the crazy part, when you go back as a child, you kind of remember little things, but you don't remember all your aunties, your cousins. You don't remember all of that. So, but they remember you and your age mates. So then you're talking with them, and they have to remind you of what was happening when you was small, and it was interesting. It's like, wow, it's a brand new place to me, And so now I'm going back and finding out, asking them about what's this place, how am I related to this uncle or this auntie, like learning like the culture and the history. So that was like 3 years ago. So now when I go back, it's getting better and better and better and that's what happens a lot of times. Like we'll leave where we're home, and it was so foreign to it. So it's like now I'm in a journey to really be very comfortable in Africa, like I am in America, and just have that duality with it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. And it's I have 3 children. It's very expensive to travel.
Yeah.
Because once you travel, they're expecting me. I'm coming from America, so they expect like I don't know how many suitcases to give everybody, yeah, and money and all that.
Everybody wants you to bring them something and bring back something. So you pack your suitcase, but you pack another big one for all the friends and family. Like take this to such and such, take this to such and such, and before you know it, it's like you work for the post office. Yeah.
That's true. Now, you're the last born of 5.
Yes.
You grew up with me. I'm assuming, from what I saw from the show, you were kind of very close to your mom. Talk to me about the relationship that you had with mom and how losing her affected you.
So my mom was like my hero, so I was always next to her. She would call me her handbag, so wherever she went, I was always there. I was the baby. And so she was so influential in my life. And that's where I get my soft, sensitive, emotional side from her. Because in Nigeria, I was with my grandfather, the king. So he wasn't as emotional, but he was teaching me the strength, how to be a man. So with my mother, that's where the soft side came in. And so, and then with her passing, that was the most difficult thing I've ever faced in my entire life, right? And so, therefore, it's like when I was getting emotional, and some people are like, oh, he's soft. I'm like, yeah, I'm soft about my mom. So it doesn't matter if I'm 80 years old. Like I would think about her. If I feel emotional, I'm gonna be emotional. I have so much confidence and pride, and it's nothing about that that's embarrassing to me. Like I love my mom, and once she passed, it's almost like now there's no one that can tell me anything, because that's the worst thing that's ever happened in my life. So nothing else can penetrate me, like nothing else can bring me to that moment of sadness, So it's like, but it's the time to celebrate, because the last couple of years of her, it was always like suffering. So now it's like I know she's at peace with God, So now it's like I'm here and I have to just live my life the way she would want me to live and be happy and just be confident, So that was a pivotal moment.
When did she die? Like how long ago was
I was
that?
About 27. I'm 40 now, so that's what 13 years ago or something like that, if my math is right. And that's when I was actually getting ready to be where I'm at in life right now. Like one of the things, like, man, if she was here, I'm able to provide all the things I dreamed that I could provide for her. And now she's not here to
I know.
enjoy, to have that soft life, So So
Yeah.
that's why I've spoiled my sisters and
I'm sure,
my daughter.
right there you go. There you go. I'm sure she's proud of the man that you've become.
Mhm.
How old were you when you became a dad?
I was actually, my daughter's 12 now. So it was like a year after my mom passed. And that's the irony of it. So my daughter, I feel as if she's a reincarnation of my mother, in a sense, because my mom passed and then here I am finding out I'm getting ready to have a child, so it's like, wow. So, and that's probably why I baby her so much, because God took away the most important thing and then gave me
And
something
gave
that's
you
even more
some.
important. Yes. Hmm. Yeah.
Um, were you married with the mother of your daughter? Were you married
No, I
or
was
was
not.
just
I was not. We was dating, and then it's something that happened, and I think about it, it's like if my mother was alive, I probably wouldn't even had a child, because it's embarrassing to have a child out of wedlock in our country. It
okay?
is.
Yeah.
It can't
Hmm.
it can't be seen as being disgraceful, in a sense. And so when that happened, I felt that it was a God thing that allowed that to happen, because I mean, of course, while my mom was here, I never had a slip up, and then the moment when she's passed, a year later, I'm having a child. So I'm like, whoa, you know. So yeah.
Well, listen, you remind me of Anthony from Ready to Love Miami, with the relationship
Okay.
that you have with your daughter. He is very like, and he has a daughter too. Um,
Yeah.
so you remind that the relationship that you have with your daughter reminds me of Anthony. Because we on the show we saw that him talking about his daughter and taking care of the daughter. So that's good. You have a beautiful girl there.
Thank you.
Um, so another question I have is, oh, so you told me that you were not married, so I cannot ask about the divorce because it wasn't a marriage.
Yeah, it wasn't a marriage.
Um, okay. Is there anything that you remember, like, oh, you learned from your childhood or from your mom? Is there something that you whether it's during difficult situations, like is there something that you remember?
Yeah,
You
I
told
would
me
say
this, yeah.
with my mother, I learned working hard, how to work hard. Because there were things in my family. Once my father passed, and then my grandfather passed, things got shaken up within our family. So that was one of the reasons why we had to come here. Because you got to think about it. My father was the heir to the throne. Then my grandfather, after he passed, then there was a lot of things that shook it up. So that's what really put us here in America. So she taught me about hard work, discipline, and it's like I come from royal and then having to start all the way back over again until I became of age. Now I'm, it's like I'm going back to take back what's for me, what my inheritance in a sense, right? And so
Hmm.
that right there, I would say, what I learned from her, and then those are the things that I remember, that she was a strong woman, very very strong and very prayerful. Like I don't, my mom can pray. Like that was in her heart, and and we would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning before school, and we would pray, all of my siblings, right? So I remember that, and I'm sleepy, and I had to pray for forgiveness, So each one of us had our own different things we had to pray for, and I was so sleepy,
Mm.
you know. But
I
that's
love
just
that.
prayer warrior, yeah.
I like that. I like. Let's talk about the show. What made you interested?
In actuality, I wasn't interested. So I don't know if you remember Simone from Houston, so the one that was
Mm-hmm.
the lawyer. Yeah. So I went to
Mm-hmm.
me and her. I actually went to prom with her in high school. I was she went to different schools, but I went to their prom. So she called me. She's like, "Hey, Chris, Really Love's gonna be in Dallas," and I was like, "Simone, I don't know about that." And so I talked to my brother and my daughter, and so I talked to both of them, and I was in a point where I was like, "Okay, I'm ready to love. I've already did my job thing. I'm where I want to be financially. Now let me move into this chapter, right?" And so that was the motivating factor. First, Simone giving me a call, and then talking to my brother and my daughter about it, and both of them was like, "Go ahead and do it." Yeah.
Oh wow! So then, did you have to audition, or you just they wrote you an email? You're like, "Yo, are you interested? Then come join us." How did that
Yeah,
go?
my audition wasn't as long as what I'm hearing other people. I think it was going on for maybe a month or two for other people, but mine's, I think, it was maybe a couple weeks, if that. Like we had the multiple Zoom meetings, the psych evaluation, ask all these scenarios and things like that. And so it was a good fit. I don't know if it was my confidence of being African or whatever. I have no idea. But they like me, I like them, and it was a love connection. And got on the show.
Well,
Yeah.
you're a handsome fella, so I'm sure they also
Thank
saw
you.
that. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much.
During the process, is there a time you are like, you know what, I regret doing this? Like, I wish I did not. Is there a time during the process you felt that
Yeah,
way?
it was. Yes, it was one time. Once I started noticing it was some drama, so that was the concern. When I noticed it was some drama, I said, "Wait, hold on," because one of the things that made me do it, because they say it's Oprah Winfrey Network, it's gonna be classy. It's not like, because of my idea, reality TV is drama because that's all we
Right.
see. And for our
Mhm.
culture, we always think about, okay, how am I gonna look for my people, my family, all of that nature. So when I saw a little bit of that, I was like, oh, I don't know if I made the right decision. And but I had to continue. Like, once you start something, you got to see it through. So
That's true. That's true. So then you get to the mixer, and you see all these beautiful girls. Was there anybody that
yeah.
instantly was attractive to you? And who is that?
Well, yeah. When I
Or there
first
was
got the
nobody?
Well, the first person I was attracted to was Jessica when she walked down, because I loved her dress. She had a very, very nice dress, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, this is nice," and the way she was walking, she seemed like she carried herself well. So that was my first
Mhm.
initial attraction, because I was the first person, she was the second person. So I was like, okay, Dallas was starting off pretty good. So that was the
Oh,
first attraction, and then all the other ladies came in there, like Aries. Aries and I lit up as soon as she walked down. We caught eyes because I knew Aries prior till the show, before the show aired, but we didn't have, we wasn't close. We just kind of knew each other as associates, and like, we was in the same circle, but never really, dig in a little deeper. So when we saw each other, we were like, okay, all right, well, she's here, I'm here, so we know that's definitely gonna be a connection. So I was starting off 2-0, two ladies that I already knew I was gonna connect with.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So at that point, so everybody comes and you still maintain the two, or there was anybody else on the
So
first day? I'm talking about the first day. Was there anybody else
on the
that caught your
first
eye?
day, Tequila and I had a really good conversation. We had a connection the very first day. Um, Kira, I would say it was kind of like, because she was in real estate, I was in real estate. She was bubbly. Both of us were real high energy.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
Lee and I was later. It wasn't the first day on that part. And I'm trying to think of someone else. Leanne and I had a familiarity because of the fitness aspect for some years. So it was an attraction there. So I think that was probably the only ladies that I saw myself being physically attracted to. Or I would say not physically attracted, but
Okay.
seemed to have a connection. Yeah. Hmm.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um, you spoke about on the show. You spoke about submission,
Yes,
and did you talk about submission? I think so. Yeah.
I
Let's get
did.
to
I
submission
did.
first. What is your perspective on that word? Because it scares so many people. I don't know why, but
Oh my
yeah.
God. So submission is one of those things, when you say it, it's like light bulbs go off. People like start thinking, oh. But submission is not a bad word. It's a very powerful word. It's just the way you use it, right? And so for me, as far as an African man, I have to have a submissive woman, and that's not a control thing. And I have to be a man worthy of her submission. You see what I'm saying? So that's
That's
very, very,
key.
very important, right? Like I was saying, as far as with my sister that's here, as soon as she got to America, I furnished her a car and pocket money. But then she goes to the store and she started cooking. It's a natural thing, and we all have our roles, our gender roles in our culture, and you know that. So that's a
Mhm.
very, very important thing. That's a non-negotiable. Because if you don't have that, how are you guys gonna sustain the household if y'all don't have an order of operation? But I have
Right,
to show her that
right.
I'm able to lead, and I'm able to provide, and I'm able to protect and be someone worthy of her submitting to. Because I feel a woman's natural thing is submission, being able to submit. But they have to be comfortable, in order to do that, to let their guard down and then
I
submit.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's because, women have been put in situations where it hasn't
Mhm.
been very healthy. And so
Absolutely.
once you say that, it becomes like, oh my gosh, this is controlling, this is, you know what I
Ab-
mean? It's never like that. It's very, actually very sexy to submit to
yeah.
your man, or,
Yeah.
it's,
And
and you
it's
don't get to submit to anybody.
exactly,
It's so
exactly.
powerful. Hmm.
It's powerful. It's
Hmm.
power of submission. Everything every decision that the world makes is because of a woman. If you think about great wars, if you think about how things are orchestrated, it's because of a woman. It's like every leader, they seek counsel from their woman. And so that right there tells you that women are actually making a lot of the decisions. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So there's power in that submission. And the ones that don't understand that part, it might be just an ego and a lack of understanding with that.
I agree. Let's talk about arranged marriages. You spoke on arranged marriages,
Yes.
and I was like, Chris, what? Because as a viewer, it came across like, oh my gosh, you are being dismissive of that, and I'm like, oh, I'm here to
Yes.
advocate for arranged marriages.
Yeah, let me tell you, arranged marriages is amazing. And that's almost like, I don't know the percentage, but it's more like a 70, 80, 90% success rate for arranged marriages, right? Because people don't got to understand, if me and my best friend grew up together and I know his family, I have a daughter, he has a son, I
That's
know
what I'm
where.
talking about.
Exactly. So I know that my daughter is going to be taken care of, because the love that we have transitioned into the kids. Those now, if I would have stayed in Nigeria a whole lot longer, I definitely would have been arranged. Definitely. And they just brung me up here. They was cooking me in the water, but before I started boiling, I was already in America. so so I got to see something different. And the young lady I was supposed to be arranged to, Jackie, she's actually married now, and I love her. She's amazing, great husband. But that was gonna be my wife, and we joke about it.
I wrote over here. I wrote about the twins. I wrote about the twins, Chris. I'm like,
Oh
Chris,
yes.
you should have taken those twins, because right now you'd be having a dynasty in the
Yeah. So my family would also send me stuff on WhatsApp, like, Christopher, take this one. This one is a medical doctor. This one is a lawyer. Now, come on, please take a wife. What are you doing? Who cooks for you in the US? Nobody. What are you doing? You want Wahala? so then I'm like, uncle, I'm not making all these excuses why I don't want to get. Uncle, I have to finish my education. I have to play football. I have to do that. I'm like, uncle, please, because have fun, uncle.
This is so true. This is true.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the relatives right now, anybody who's watching you on national television, you're coming to look for a wife on national television. They are very disappointed. Like, no,
Oh
Prince,
yeah.
what is happening? Huh?
Oh
What's
man,
going
some
on
people,
over there?
because our community, we support each other heavily. Like, if you're from any African nation, when you see an African, you have no choice but to support them. And that's what I love about our
A
people.
hundred
That's
percent.
one reason I'm gonna save you for last. Because you're my African sister. I have no choice. Even if I'm mad, I think one time we were talking, and I was like, okay, I have to forgive you. I have no choice.
Yeah, we did.
Like, so that's just in our culture, and that's
Mhm.
why Africans, we are so prideful to be African, because we know there's honor in that, and I'm just happy, I'm
A
grateful to
hundred
God.
percent.
Yeah, and children, the
A
Africans in
hundred
America,
percent.
as kids, you don't understand it because you're getting bullied, picked on, or whatever. But as you get older, now it's
Mhm.
like you're proud. Now, instead of now, you
You're
guys want to
proud.
listen. You want to eat our food. You want to listen to our music. You want to dance. You want to wear the clothes. Now you're coming back to your roots, because the blacks here, they're African. So now they're yearning for that. You see
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's beautiful.
And that's true. That's very true. During the one of the scenes that during the show, you left the scene. I think it was the hold
Hold on.
something.
Yes,
What?
yes, yes.
Yeah, because you were going to want to be recognized. I was like, yes, brother, yes.
Yes.
What was that about?
So in the company I'm in, it's probably over maybe 200 plus people that do what I do, and for me, I'm the number one in the entire company. You know, I'm one of the first blacks that they hired in Dallas to do what I do. So I've been with them for about 6 years, and every year I've been number one. You know, but that's because of our work ethic. You know, the way we
Yeah.
work in Nigeria, we come here and we can do a tenth of it, and it's gonna outwork most Americans here. And it is what it is. Nothing against them,
It is
but
true.
I feel that the ones here don't understand what they really
The
have,
struggle,
right?
the
The
struggle, yeah.
struggle. So
Mhm.
that's why you see a lot of people from India, Africa, China,
Mhm.
all those
Mhm.
internationals coming here
Mhm.
and doing like they're not Nigerians are the most in medical doctors, Africans. There is so
Mhm.
many because education is rooted in our minds in Africa.
Mhm.
You know, so
Mhm.
before I did this, I was an engineer for 7 years. You know, to satisfy my family. You know, because you see,
Yes, because
yes,
I was gonna, yeah,
lawyer,
it is not gonna be a teacher. It's not gonna be, oh, it has to be, oh, you're a lawyer. Okay.
lawyer, medical doctor, engineer. It's these things, right? You
Those,
know,
yeah.
so that's why it was easy for me to dominate in this industry because of my roots, because of my upbringing. You know,
Hmm.
so yeah, I
And
was
your
very
work ethics. Okay, so then you recognize and you come back and you realize one of the classmates there doesn't have a job. Why not hook up feel a job? I mean, why would you do that?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Oh my God. Phil, he has a job. I think he emphasized too much on that part. And I think he spoke on too many different things that he had his hand on. It's like jack of all trades, master of none. So with Aries needed a plan, and Phil wasn't able to communicate the plan, right? But for all the guys, even in the back, I had a meeting like, hey, I can teach you guys how to invest. Like, let's talk about this. Like, because Ready to Love, they cast for availability, not for income. So there are a lot of people that not there financially, but they have a lot of time. So Phil was not the person that was least financial. There are at least more people that there was, yeah, that I would say,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know that.
So
I
Phil
know
was
there's
not,
an Uber guy. There's an Uber guy. Yeah, I know there's an Uber guy. So I know that to be true. We are not mentioning
yeah,
names, but
yeah,
yeah. No, but it's just, Phil talking about he's a comedian. I'm like, dude, there's nothing funny about you. What the heck are you talking about? You're a comedian, dude.
yeah. I think
Nothing. But he's a good guy.
yeah, I think he spoke too much, and it created more attention to that. And so, and hopefully he understands that moving forward. Let's talk about what you're doing right now, not all these things. Because for a woman like Aries, who's older, have her kids, she wants in her mind she doesn't want to start over. You know, she don't want to have to support a grown man. You know, if you don't have a plan, but Phil, I think he's the data analyst, something like that, logistics, something. And I know
Okay.
he does. I can't remember the title, but I asked him how much he makes. He says he makes about 100 or whatnot. And so I mean, I said that's pretty good. Most Americans make about 40,000 dollars a year. So I'm
That's
like,
true.
but it's like, what do you do with your money though? You can be a millionaire, but you can still be living paycheck to paycheck. So those things are important. It's not just the dollar amount, because I've done it. I've had a year I made $1 million. I was broke because I was doing too much. So
Right.
that's the thing you got to think about on that part. How are you? How are you managing?
I
Yeah.
mhm.
Hmm.
Or maybe do you think he was threatened by Iris? Because Iris seemed like, she's very composed, she knows what she wants. And I think,
Oh
him trying to
yeah.
impress her was like, oh my gosh, this is what I am trying to do. I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure now. Aries is very accomplished. Aries is a boss. Aries,
Yeah.
um, she got her stuff together. She's always doing Zoom meetings. I always get on her like, oh, here comes another Zoom meeting. But that's just how she is. And it's crazy. All three of those ladies are like bosses. Lee, Aries, and Kat, like they run their own stuff. And that's kind of crazy because it was later on. Maybe we'll get to it where they're saying that I want someone that's in total servitude that can't make their own money. But those three women, they're all like bosses,
They
and
are
we all have a
bosses.
connection.
We'll get to her. We'll get to her. I have questions about her. We'll get to her. So at the house, we get to the house, and I remember you telling the guys, you guys got there first. And I remember saying, let's not choose the rooms. Let the girls come, let them choose whatever. Because you have been a gentleman up until that point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're gonna talk about up until that point. I'm impressed.
Absolutely.
And then you go to the gentleman lounge or whatever you guys met, and you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna let go Iris because am I pronouncing her name right?
Aries.
Aries. Yeah.
That's
yeah. So then you say, you know what? You're gonna let go Phil to continue with that. Do you regret saying that? Do you regret? And why did you say that?
Well, the thing of the matter, like everyone liked their connection. Like Phil and Aries had a really good connection. Myself and Phil was the only two connections Aries had throughout the whole show. And I think Aries and I got lazy, because we kind of knew each other. It was like, we'll be okay. It's a connection. It's always going to be a connection there. So we didn't put forth that effort. And you got to think about it. Phil to her is like newness. It's exciting because people like something that's new. Heck, I like this. It was like because they looked so good together, but no one knew what was really going on until later on. So it's like I'm not a hater. I'm gonna if hey, this is my boy and that's my hey, y'all do your thing. It was crazy before all the blow up. Phil and I used to joke and fight over Aries on the internet on Instagram, right? So it was like beef, but I was happy for them, with their connection because it looks beautiful, like we're here to find love. In my mind, that picture was a picture of love, even though her and I was very connected. I think it would have been a toss up. She had to choose me and Phil at that moment. It still would have been very, very difficult for her, because we had such a good time throughout the whole process. It was never a dull moment, even when the three of us and it was like me, Lee, Cat, Aries, Phil. It was such a good time, and that retreat was so good, but they didn't show all of that part. It's like we got to show the drama, we got to show the nastiness, we got to show that. But that was why, because they just look good together.
Okay, so it's during the retreat that you guys sit down and you decide, you're not feeling Jessica, and you said you've had combative situations.
Yes.
But after that, after the guy with the greasy hair, Moray, the greasy hair guy, his hair does not bless my soul. I don't like that kind of hair. Yeah, it's not.
I know. I heard people calling him Messy Moray, and I was like, man, that's pretty catchy. Because that guy was so messy, man, for real.
Nothing was blessing my soul from his end.
Yeah. That guy was rough.
So he goes there and he talks about, Jessica, the guys think you're combative because he said the guys. He never said specifically. He said one guy said the guys, and at that point it's only 4 guys. Him, you, Phil, and so then Jessica gets heated and she's very, annoyed and mad. And then her friend, Janelle, who should not be questioning anybody about Black women treating Black, she should not be asking nothing. Anywho, she comes and asks, guys, who was using, why didn't you say at that point, I never say she's combative. I just said I've had this experience with her. Why did you say that? Did you say that? Was it edited out?
That's such a good question. So up until that point, I only said that we had combative moments, combative situations. So the very first time I called her combative is with the blow up. The second time is right before the reunion. Once you're done, you come back and do what's called a pickup interview. So at the interview, I called her combative at the interview right before the reunion, but the editors moved that and put it in place at the retreat like it was real time. So that was a whole setup. That's why the girls was like, he did not say combative.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now it makes sense. But for the world, the people that are watching, they was like, Chris said it. We just saw them show him saying it, but they pulled it and put it here. So it made me look like I was lying. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
And even at the reunion, you never got a chance to explain that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
editing did,
So
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Now, I said editing did a lot of those tricky things to everybody. So that was one of the things they did to
Mhm.
me, to because they want to paint the narrative of a misogynistic Nigerian
Yeah.
control freak.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember Kat was saying they wanted you to be a controlling Nigerian. They picked the wrong Nigerian because you're not. And it's so funny because those three girls, I want to say they kind of run me. You know, it's like they, you know, so it's like what the production or the editing wanted, they didn't get it from us. Like we kind of just did our own thing, you know. And I wish they would just
Mhm.
naturally let us gravitate to the people that
Mhm.
we wanted to be with versus forcing us to be in certain dates or showing certain dates. Because now the connections are so confusing when you guys see it. They're like, why is Chris and Lee connected, but they haven't been on no dates? But they did drop one on YouTube that showed a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. And it's
Yeah.
like,
We saw
why is this
that.
person? Yeah, so they didn't show me and Kat Harley, but the very first date or whatever. So it just didn't make sense. I think it was more rushed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's true. That's why I like, they're saying there's a season 2 coming from Dallas. I'm like, we don't want
yeah.
another one from Dallas, really. It's been messy. But my goodness, wow. So that makes a whole lot of sense. It
Mhm.
does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you got to think about with the way they show it. Whenever I'm walking in the streets, people will take that narrative. I remember I was in Atlanta and this lady was like, "Chris, why are you blah blah blah?" And I had to talk to her. She like, "Oh, okay." So that's the power of editing and internet and reality. People take that and they run with it. So you can they just out here manipulating the fans to feel and think some type of way about us, right? Individually.
Right,
Now, what
right.
I will say, everything that you guys see about the whole cast, there is a percentage of truth, you know, because some stuff they can't edit what you don't give them, you know. So
Right,
even the
right.
things that I've done, I gave that to them. You know, they just
Mm-hmm.
twisted up and probably and magnified it and make it worse than what it is. Because combative
Mm-hmm.
really isn't a bad word to me, you know. But now
To
everyone thinks
me,
it's like a,
yeah.
I mean, you're just combative, you know.
It's
So,
it's nothing. It's nothing to me. Like,
yeah.
why
Mhm.
is it? Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
if your
So
ass is combative, you're combative. What are you talking about? We are not.
exactly.
Um. Yeah, but I agree with you about them because most of people who are very ignorant, they think African men are controlling. African men
Yeah.
are so that I can see them trying to run with that. And because you said you want somebody who is submissive, oh my gosh, you have
Oh
some,
my God.
So then
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get that. I get that. Um, so then during so at that time, we see you're the first person on the show again to give
Mhm.
really to bring a gift to a girl.
Yes.
You brought sandals to Lee, and
Mhm.
then you're eliminated after that. I mean, do you think you should have taken those sandals?
I should have bought her a car or something, you know.
Yeah, man. I'm like,
But
take
nah.
them back.
And then the crazy part about that, like, I was on a date with like Jessica and her friends in Marriere, and production wanted me to bring Jessica a gift, and I said no. I said I will not spend one impeccable couple and one naira. I don't want it at all, you know. And so with Lee, that was something because I knew she was defending me when I wasn't there. Didn't know what, and she always was a good. She was such a good person, in my opinion, right? So that
Yes.
gift was something that I set up that I didn't even want them to air, but when they saw it coming, they stopped and said, "Okay, we have to get this on tape." So and I didn't know what the gift was until she opened it on that scene. So yeah. So let me tell you. So you know the friend Muffin, the one that's her friend
Yes.
Muffin.
Yes.
So I reached out to Muffin and I was like, "Hey, I want to get Lee a gift." So I told her where to go, sent my card information, and I hired a driver to drive it all the way to the location that we was at. Yeah, all that in that same day. Hmm. So when
Why
she
are you
opened,
single, Chris? Why are you single? Why are you single when you? Why? What's going on?
well, I hope that I
We
mean
need to
I'm
go
on
back to
here.
Africa. Jeez.
Yeah, so
Mm.
that's what it
So,
was. Mhm.
so you have had a connection with Lee up until this point. It's like, it's growing,
Yeah,
it's growing. We are just
yeah.
not seeing it.
Yes, when we went to the retreat, Lee was my main focus, was our number one connection. Lee, Aries, and Kat. So it's like we all, and it was funny. Like Kat had told Lee, "Hey, focus on Q, so I could see what Chris was talking about." It was so funny, and so all three of them was like very very strong connections. But at the retreat, it was more so Lee was my strongest one at the retreat. Hmm.
Mm.
Yep.
Um, okay, so Lee was okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the man that is presented on the show, does it align with the man that you are, or is there anything that you'd like to, that's not who I am. This is this.
Oh yeah, a lot of things. Like it was a moment at the retreat when they said, okay, gender roles. When I said that I don't believe in what the equality that people put out there, right? So from what I was
Mhm.
talking about, mainly on a physical aspect. So they cut me off right then. But I was saying that women are able to bear children. Men cannot do that. That's a great power within that. I said, and men, we protect and provide. I said, if someone comes in here with a gun, the men are gonna have to defend all of you guys. I feel that those are our roles, and it's just like that. And then that's when Janelle was like, well, women can do this. I'm not saying women can do it. You're asking me what I feel. This is what I'm talking about. Well, we want someone we could make our own money. We could do all this other stuff. I said that's fine, but for me and my household, if any of our things affect us, it's not happening. So either, but if my wife loves to do what she's doing, she can do it. I'll make adjustments. If I need to travel to her event or her speaking engagement, I'll go, but I'm going to make sure we have things in order and the house is taken care of before we do anything else. And because I've learned it from experience where when I was an engineer, I was working so much, and I thought because I paid all the bills and took care of her, we were good. But I was neglecting
Right.
her with that time. I wasn't present. So then it told me that I would not get into a relationship until I got myself financially stable and I'm able to be there with my woman. And whatever she does, it can't take away from us.
Mhm.
And that's what I was talking about as far as that. You can have all the jobs you want, all the companies you want, as long as we got time
Yeah.
for each other. Because money
Mhm.
come and go. People worship and idolize things that don't make any sense. And that's my thing. And I also feel that sometimes with people that have money, they use that as a form of control.
Right.
That I don't
Right.
subscribe to. I don't subscribe to that because that's not
Right.
love. Control is not love. Support
That's
is.
true.
So
I love that.
yeah, that
I
was
love
one
that.
thing thank you, that I was talking
What?
about. Another thing, I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
what they might have said. I think that's about it. I think that's
Mm.
all I can think
Okay.
of um, that pops up in my head.
But you know, I really enjoyed, like, I really saw you guys, you and Jessica, like, wonderful couple. What went
Yeah.
wrong?
It would have been great, but this is the thing in life, right? Um, the way someone treats other people is a reflection of how they could treat
Mhm.
you,
Who they
right? So
are. Hmm.
the times when we're
Hmm.
dating, like I'm seeing her being rude to waitresses in production and all of that, and then you're nice to me. You're only nice to me because you like me and you're attracted to me. The one moment when I rub you the wrong way, I'm gonna get that same treatment. And then that's why when we was at my office, when I said, hey, talk to me softly because I'm going to talk to you softly. It's too much out there in the world where we're battling and struggling. When we come home, that's our sanctuary. That's our safe place. That's our love bubble. Like I don't
Hmm.
want to be in battle with my woman, when
Right.
it's best, right? So
Yeah.
once I identified that, that's when it was like, nah, it's not for me. You
Did
know.
you identify that, when you go to the restaurant, or was it among the cast? Like the way she was treating people among the cast?
Oh, everything, especially with the girls as well, because they were treating them like they were being mean to them. Her and Janelle both was being mean to the girls, to Quilla, Kira. They were doing those things, and I'm like, I'm not with that. It's just
Mm.
like how you calling them bees and all these other things. That's not classy to me. That's not ladylike.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's a huge turnoff because someone can be extremely beautiful aesthetically, but if their
Hmm.
personality is ugly, it makes them horrific. In my
Oh yeah.
opinion. you know.
Oh yeah,
So
we saw that with Jessica. I mean not Jessica, Janelle. I
yeah,
mean, she's a beautiful girl. She's a
yeah, she
beautiful
is.
girl. You know, she's proud of who she is. You know, we are complaining
Yeah.
about, they are always bringing skinny women on the show, and the
Mhm.
fans were saying, bring somebody who is regular, a regular size. And then Janelle
Yeah,
comes,
no, we
and
did.
and then boom, her attitude is ridiculous. Her attitude is
Yeah,
stinky. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
I totally
While
agree.
the guys, yeah, go ahead.
I said, and one of the things is like, with some of them, they thought that I'm gonna be attracted to some particular type of woman. But if you know African men, we like a little meat on our bones.
That's
You
what I'm
know,
saying.
we like that. So you might think, oh, I want this supermodel, I want this, I want that. No, that's not the case. Like we like a woman. Like my thing is
Mhm.
like, as long as you got curves, I'm happy. I'm a happy man, happy camper. So I think sometimes people get shallow and think that this
Mhm.
person wants this type of person, you
Right.
know. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's if you go home and you're skinny, your aunties are bringing food. Why
Oh,
are you
they
not
bring
feeding
food.
your wife? Why
Why
is
are you
your
not?
wife this skinny?
She's
Hmm?
starving now. Look at her. And tackly and small and pickly. so so yeah.
Oh my gosh. So are you so during your exit when you're told by Jessica? First of all, I don't know why production chose her to come and to come tell you that
Yeah.
um that you're not ready to love. She had ammunition. Like, she's the one who's gonna stab you, and then she's smiling for camera. This that camera. What is
Yeah.
it exactly that she said to you? Because you looked very annoyed.
Oh
And
yeah, I was man, I was hurt. I think I was frustrated as well. And even going to there, I was like, hey, production, I only want to be there with Lee, Cat, or Aries. So I've already communicated that. And so when I get there and she's there, now I'm like, okay, now you guys are not respecting me. You're not respecting my wishes. And watching the show and watching her lounge when she had on all black and she was so angry. I know Chris did it. He's a liar. So now I know you came in there with a agenda. You came in there
yeah,
strategic,
oh yeah.
and you had your guns loaded to start shooting at me.
Mhm.
Now it all makes sense. It was even a moment. I don't know if you caught it when she was like, "Well, why did we not work out?" And I'm like, "Just cut it out. We are not a connection. You're not my person. This and that." And it was like she kept pretending as if she wasn't doing anything, and my memory, the way my mind works, like things that are, I would say, might be traumatic or whatever, I kind of delete it, right? But I remember
Mhm.
how she made me feel, and there was a lot of things that was just so like disrespectful, and it got to the point like you don't even know who I am, like you don't know who's in front of you right now. And so it was that boiling point where I couldn't take it anymore. I had to get out of there. And even all of that happened before she told me I wasn't ready to love. The blow up was way before that, and they put it like that was the reason I blew up. But no, all of that happened first, and so I left. And it's so crazy. The owner of the restaurant followed me out to the back, and she hugged me. She was emotional. She was like, "I understand. Like it was things happened before you got here." Yes, and then I came back. And I'm like, "Hey, tell me what Tommy has to say so I can get out of here," And that was that. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
So did you toss a drink on anybody, Chris?
He said I did what? Oh no, 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 no. And that's the irony of it, because I think someone said that she said I flipped a table or I did something,
Yeah.
um,
This.
and that was so false, and she had to delete it because it was such a horrendous lie, right? And so with me, I was raised by my mother and I had sisters, so I'm extremely soft when it comes to a woman. Now with a man, I'm not. I'm 0 to 100 with a man. Like you can't, because you can't play like that. Women, you one of the things I think that's the worst thing someone can be is a rapist and a beater. If you hit women, that's the most
Right.
disrespectful, the most disgusting thing that anybody can do, right? So for her, it doesn't matter how mad. I would not touch her. I won't touch a woman, period.
Mhm.
So I mean, if I'm saving my life, like she has a knife or a gun or something to defend myself, but I would never ever,
Right.
because that's a coward move. We're a
100%.
stronger vessel physically, so why would you want to impose yourself physically on a weaker physical vessel. Like that's a coward move, you know. And me having a daughter, you know, I think about that. You know, even after I cussed her out, I called my daughter immediately and told her what happened. She was like, "Well, Dad, she must have been mean to you. Like it's okay, you know. Some people, you know." I talked to her because I talk to her like I talk to a grown person, so she understands how life works out here. You know, so yeah, she was not. I'm probably was the safest person that she could have been around that day. You know, so
Um, okay. Were the guys afraid of those two? Like, were you guys like, like you don't want to talk about? It seemed like you guys were afraid of those two, especially Janelle. It's like when, like Q. It's like he was a hostage. Like, oh my gosh, like a little boy. He has to agree on everything that Janelle is saying. Was that
you know what?
the?
I'm glad you said that. But since you guys sense something, that means that there's a level of combativeness that all the guys felt, right? And so even at the thing when they said, I think Q said when I said when Maria said combative,
He said, "Who
he
are
was
you?"
like, he's like, it's a collective decision. You know, he was like, it was a collective decision. And then Maria like, I chose the wrong word, but Maria knew that was a trigger for Jessica. So why would you say that word, right? So there was like, okay, let me put more fire, more gasoline on the fire towards Chris when you
So
knowing
that
that's a
you can.
trigger for her. Because I didn't know that was a bad word to her. I had no idea that combative was so detrimental to her, but he did. So you choose to say that word, you know. So I mean, to each his own. I feel that everything happens for a reason, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad it happened, and I'm able to see all this stuff and work through it. So now people can ask me this question and see how most African men think when it comes to
Okay.
all these things, you know.
Yeah. 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 Um,
Yeah.
and then we see this connection between her, I mean Jessica and Maury, and I'm like, what the heck is this? There's no connection over here.
No,
Um, what the cast like buying it? Like you guys are thinking, this is a
nah,
connection.
no one bought it. No one bought it. Nah, not at all. I mean, they probably had a good friendship, but as far as like a love connection, I don't think we felt that as a cast. But we don't know. I mean, unless they, it's kind of like with the whole PDA thing. I feel she would show PDA with me, but definitely she's not gonna want to be
I say
touching and
that.
kissing my face.
I say
Yeah,
that because she's not attracted to the dude.
no, you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
And I
I
and
mean
I
the
don't know
guy.
why. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I said I don't know why he might have felt some type of way about me. Um, I guess when I go back and I start looking at things, I'm like, wow, why was he so intentional when it came to me? Like I've already disconnected from her. You can have her all by yourself. So that's it didn't make sense. But I guess it's like, okay, we're there. I have three connections. They just have their one. How can I make sure I go past Chris, even though he has three connections? So I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's a genius
Mm-hmm.
plot and it worked. So yeah.
Right. I feel like and I was angry with Kara. Kara?
Oh, Kira, yeah, Kira.
Yeah, I was irritated with her the first time, when she talked about everybody else, that's what we saw. But
Mhm.
I've come to like her. She is,
Yeah,
what was the feeling among the guys? I felt like she was said very early on, and she should have stayed a little bit longer.
yeah. I didn't have an issue with Kira. Now, one of the things though, every woman that got eliminated, Maria had a hand in it. When Tequila got eliminated, Maria was part of it. When Kira got eliminated, Maria was part of it.
That's a
When
good point.
Leanne, the very first day, Maria had a part of it. Even he eliminated Sierra. So every woman, pretty much, other than Lee self-eliminating, he had a hand in it. And so, but Kira, I think the thing was, someone said something about the blackness or whatever, and then later on, they got past that. But I don't. I mean, she was a good girl. I mean, she wasn't my connection, but she was a innocent woman. But
Yeah, she
hey,
is.
hmm
Yeah. I know you're friends with Marvin, right?
hmm
Have you visited one of those creepy shows that he has? Have you been visiting?
you know what? We actually went to a painting, and it wasn't the actual show where they did all the beating. I don't think. But it was cool. It was like some of those things. That's what I would do behind closed doors for me. You see what I'm saying? But I do respect him because he put it out there straight out the gate, and I think they harped on that more than they needed to, So that's one thing I love about Marvin is that he's an honest man. He like, hey, I'm into whips and chains, and that's what I'm into. So if you come over here, you getting whipped, and I'm gonna chain you up. So you have to respect that. So he don't go down the line. These women fall in love with him, and then now he brings out this whip, and they were like, "Wait a minute, hold on, that hurt," So I respect that, man. He's a good guy. His birthday's coming up. He got an event. I'm gonna actually go to it, and a couple of cats are gonna go support. And so that's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of women were not having that. They was like,
no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he got a girl. I interviewed the girlfriend actually.
Cool.
She's cool.
She's just awesome. They're perfect.
Yes.
They're perfect for her. She's a beautiful woman. He's well kept. Like they look good together. They're amazing.
So after the show, how has dating been like? Has it been easier for you? I mean, first of all, what is it difficult to date? I don't understand. Like, you have a very good job. You're a good-looking guy. Why is it difficult to find a woman to settle down with?
It's not difficult. It's not. So
why?
Again, the reason why I wasn't in a relationship because I was trying to secure myself to the financial level that I see fit today. Once I got there, this opportunity kind of just rolled around the same time. So it was perfect. I'm thinking it's a God thing, So since this show, I feel now that my intentionality has gotten so much better. The questions has gotten so much better because in real life, you're dating for weeks, months until you get here. In this process, you're asking hard questions the first, second, and third day. So you're cramming it all in there. So now what I've learned is that anybody you run across, ask those tough questions in the beginning. Because you don't want to fall into that honeymoon stage where, oh, you're pretty, you're handsome, you're cute, get physical, and then you're blinded and not knowing that this woman is like this or this man is like that. So it's put me on a whole nother level when it comes to dating and even friendships. I can communicate a lot better with that. And like, hey, this is how I feel about this. This is what I think, and ask them, how do you like? It's on a whole nother level. I feel like I can like write a book on it now or something.
So you've grown in a good way from there. All right, we're gonna get a few questions from the chat, and the first question I have, is Chris. Do you feel you better matched with a woman that shares those traditional African gender roles instead of a modern American woman idea of equality in relationships?
The crazy thing about it, that a lot of American women feel the same way I feel. People want to like just categorize it just African, but there's a lot of American women that want that type of relationship. They want that type of relation, So yeah, I mean, definitely African is that's amazing. I love my African sisters, period. But there are a lot of nationalities and a lot of Black Americans here that feel the same way that I feel because they've been messaging and they've been replying to what I've been saying. So yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this, but it's a whole lot of nonsense. But Monique has a question because it was all rumors. Like I know Jessica, and I don't know about Jessica. I know about Janelle was doing these rumors. How do you feel about the rumors Janelle and Jessica tried to spread about about your sexuality thing? Yeah.
So you know what? I really didn't even know nothing about that till somebody said, and I just brushed it off because I'm one of the most masculine individuals that you meet. But you got to think about this. When someone is so successful and so confident, let me find some way to tear him down, And I was talking to Jade, one of my good friend, Lady Jade. She's a influencer here. She's like, Chris, when people see you, they're going to think that because you're attractive, because you're nice, you're always smiling. They got to find something, And so for me, I don't have any skeletons in my closet. So it's like if someone says any rumor or this, bring the evidence. Show me the text, the video, the picture, bring it out to the light, or you're just going to create things, and then it's kind of one of those things, like, let's say a celebrity husband and wife, let's say he cheated, right? But then they find out that he didn't cheat. People still want to believe that he cheated. because that lie is more juicier than the truth, you
Right.
know. So
Right.
and then you have to
Right.
think, because people will be like with rumors, oh, why is he or she not mad about it? Okay, why are they too mad about it? So it's a
Mhm.
lose-lose situation. So you got to be confident within yourself. You know, both of those two ladies sought after me, and both of them I told them I didn't want to talk to them.
I
Well,
was gonna say that.
yeah, Jessica, I initially was trying to talk to her in the process, and I was like, nah. Janelle, when she called me, I said, nah, I'm good. You know, I talked to your friend. Yeah, so of course, I mean, rejection is real, you know, so someone can feel very rejected and upset about that. So you're going to create whatever narrative you want to create. So, yeah.
And also, Chris, you're a good looking man. You are physically fit. You're not shy posting stuff on social
Nah, I'm
media.
not.
Some of them,
I'm
some of
very
them.
blessed. My family took care of me. My dad hooked me up, so I'm good. So it is what it is.
See, I'm not the only one who say this. You do remind us about Anthony with his close relationship that he had with the daughter. That's for sure.
I got to go back
That
and watch
that
that. I got to go back and watch the episode.
Oh yeah, he was like, oh my god, he was amazing with his daughter. Katrina, what's the question about Katrina? Katrina said they
Okay.
never knew which man production would send home. Oh yeah, that's Katrina said they did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't
Mhm.
think they really knew. The guys, we were more so unanimous with a lot of our stuff. I think with the ladies, they didn't give them that amount of synergy with the voting, in a sense, right? Because if that was the case, I wouldn't have went home, you know, because I had Cat Lee and Aries, you know. So I think it was more of a production call heavily on the women's side, and on the men, we kind of got the, you know, because our lounges was good. We had a great time. We had a lot of unity within our lounge throughout the whole process, even to the very last elimination. It was still unity within that. And then, you know, Marais said what he wanted to say, but it was still unity in our decision. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So she's right about that.
Are you still friends? Who are you still cool with the guys? I know Maury, you
Mhm.
did an interview with
Well,
Crystal
yeah,
and Maury was there acting up. I'm like, dude, you already got Jessica. What are we,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Just leave Chris alone. Um,
exactly. Now, cool with all, I don't even have any bad blood towards Maurier. You know what I'm saying? If he called me, I'm gonna pick up the phone. You know, if he texts, I'm gonna reply back. Like it's, I can't hold any grudges because I don't have any grudges. You know, like my
right.
life is very good. You know, if I talk to you about the things that I have in life, I'm whole. So it's like, why do I want to be angry? Like I'm not even angry at Janelle or Jessica. You know, Jessica we could probably reconcile. Janelle, I don't even want to associate with her. You know, just a heavily disrespect for
Mm-hmm.
everybody. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so but I'm not
Mm-hmm.
upset at her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have
Right.
any issues with anybody. The guys are
Yeah.
still cool. You know, some guys I'm closer to than other guys. Like I'm closer to, you know, like Phil or Marvin, you know, Christopher, you know, Herbert. So it is what it is, but it's no bad blood, you know, at all on my side with
Mm-hmm.
anybody.
I actually like Jessica because even after the reunion and the back and forth they had with Katrina, she went back to talk to Katrina about it. I feel like she
Well,
really took over Janelle's energy
well,
throughout the
let me tell
process.
you this
She was,
though. That
yeah,
was strategic. Her PR set that up for them to do that, and Kat was like, "No, nah, I'm not having it." So that was very strategic. You know, once we went back, yeah, that wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna be genuine. No, that was strategy. And Kat was like, no way, Jose. You know, but they showed the
Kat,
nice part of it.
yeah, Kat is real. Kat is not playing games. Kat is like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kat's a no nonsense type woman. She's no nonsense. You know that I don't know if that's the Haitian, the Sierra Leone style, but she's no nonsense. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
She's
So then,
African
because
woman.
we did not get to see a lot of confrontationals when it comes to Jessica as we did with
Oh my
Janelle.
goodness! Of course not. I mean, Jessica is smart. Jessica is very methodical. You know, but I'm not gonna say she's a bad person. But it's like you got to use your powers for good versus evil. You know, and that's why she's probably successful in her business. I have no idea, but I can assume she's successful because she's so strategic. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I would say about her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, are you still single, Chris? Are you single? Are you still single?
So I am dating. I definitely
Me?
am doing that. Now you're not single until you're not until you're married. You kind of always is single. You know what I'm saying? So I feel
Are you
that.
exclusive? Are you exclusive with this girl?
Well, I'm gonna let you'll find that out. You'll find that out.
Okay.
You know on that
Okay.
part.
Well, I'm praying. I'm praying because you're a good dad. You need another baby.
I do.
Yeah, you need a lot of little creases running around. You need that, and you have the money to do that. I mean, your pockets are
Yeah.
deep. That's why I need you to,
Who told you? Who told you that?
Chris. Listen,
What?
hook up, hook up the Uber guy though. Hook up the Uber guy. It's not. Yeah.
I don't really know because she was just blurting out different stuff, like saying some people prostitutes, some people this. Like I really don't know, and if somebody did Uber, that's not a bad thing. They probably did it in between time, maybe to maybe get connections or talk to people. So I don't know. I don't actually
Okay.
know who's the Uber man or woman or whatever. So
Look at you being diplomatic, Chris. Look at you. That's not.
I have to
Well,
be.
this was fun. This was
Yeah, it was
fun.
a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for stopping. I appreciate you. I know you're on your way to Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you cooperate? Co-parent? What is it called?
Co-parent,
Parenting.
right?
Co-parenting with
So this is
the
my
mother
thing.
of your child. How is that?
I get my daughter every single time I want to. Is no if and buts about it. I'm not on child support. I would never be on child support. If I was, she'd probably get less money. So I make sure she's good, and anything my daughter needs, I take care of it. So it's like I don't, yeah,
That's
I don't run, I
awesome.
don't run that.
That's awesome. But how often do you see her? Because you're way in Dallas.
Well, we're actually about 3 hours away, roughly. So I see her
Okay.
almost every other week, every week, or all the
Okay.
holidays. So I mean, sometimes I drive here to go to lunch with her or take her to dinner.
Oh,
She's not feeling good. I come and check on her and drive back. So it's like, yeah.
okay. I
And
love
that,
that. So it's
yeah,
just that you're close by.
yeah,
That's not
yeah.
so
Three
far.
three hours is not far. Even if she was 7 hours, I would fly there or drive. It's not. Yeah, I don't think. I think once you have a child and once you put love on someone, like distance is irrelevant. You do whatever you have to do, and that's just what it is. Like there's no greater love than a parent and their child. Um,
Yeah. Kamisha is saying, ask him names. No, we are not going to ask you to give us the names. No, we are not. We are not going to do that. I appreciate you, Chris, for stopping by. I know you're on your way. You're still on your way, right? You're headed
Yeah,
there.
well, I went and saw her. She had a birthday today, so I threw her a birthday party at the trampoline park, and so I have my concierge set this place up for me here to do this. So now I'm gonna drive back to Dallas.
Thank you so much for doing that for me. I'm the undisputed
Yes,
African queen. So,
yes, yes.
thank you so much, Chris. We'll keep in touch. When I come to visit Kamisha in Dallas, I'll have to come and
Come
see you.
on, come on. We're gonna
Thank
have a
you
good
so much,
time.
Chris.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. All right. Bye-bye. There you have it, guys. There you have it. That's Chris, the Nigerian king. Thank you guys for stopping by. You're here for the first time and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel. Please go ahead and do that. Let me know. Did you enjoy the show? Did you get some understanding about who Chris is? I got some insight on all those things that transpired. Go back and watch the video if you did not start with us. Appreciate everybody. Good night, everybody. I am your girl, Mother from Mama, the undisputed African queen. Bye. Adios. Enjoy your night. Good night. It's 10 over here. I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.